So these reactions, these current reactions to the status, the current status of Operation Platinum, just shows how full of crap the majority of this community is. This very event exposes just how hypocritical, just how many sidesteps, just how many excuses, just how many edited arguments, just how many stealth edited arguments niggas will come up with once they get exposed, once they're proven wrong. This is just a prime example of how that constantly happens in this community. So you're probably like, oh, Trey, what are you talking about? Well, let's start from the beginning. When I first started Operation Platinum, and I said that the goal was to get this game to sell 1 million units, damn near everybody thought I was nuts. Oh, Trey, it's a niche game. It's never going to sell 1 million. It doesn't have Mario in the title. Mario's not in the game. It's not going to sell 1 million. Call of Duty didn't even sell 1 million on the Wii U. You're crazy. Look at the install base. There's no way that Bayonetta 2 is going to sell 1 million on the Wii U. You'll be lucky at 500,000. But it won't even hit 500,000. Remember that? Remember everybody was calling me crazy, calling supporters of Operation Platinum crazy for thinking that this game could sell 1 million units on the Wii U? Remember that? That was in the beginning. That was in the beginning. But then, once the game launched, and it launched at #1, all of a sudden people said, well, unless it hits that 1 million very soon, it doesn't matter anymore. Or it'll never hit 1 million within the next year or so it doesn't matter. Even if it hits it in a few years, that doesn't matter. But the funny part about that is, you guys originally said it would never hit 1 million. Then, when it looked like, oh yeah, it probably will hit 1 million, now all of a sudden you niggas flip-flop and said, oh, well, if it does, it'll be within a few years. Now, that is looking like it's going to hit it probably maybe in a few months. Now, all of a sudden, that's too long of a time. So selling 1 million units of Bayonetta 2, a game that you guys say is niche, and selling that in what? Let's say that it sold 1 million before E3. That's way less than a year. What's that, like 7 months? For a niche title on the Wii U that's not a Nintendo game, that doesn't have Mario in it? That's not good? That's not impressive? That's funny that you say that, because this past summer when I started Operation Platinum, you said that that was impossible for the game to ever sell 1 million. Now it looks like it's going to sell 1 million in well under a year, and all of a sudden, that's not impressive anymore. It should have sold 1 million in a couple months. Really. Really. This community is full of crap. But look, get this. Even the reasons you guys bring up don't make any damn sense. You can't have your cake and eat it too. Either the game should have sold like gangbusters, or it's a niche title. You can't have it both ways. If the game is a niche title, that means it's not going to sell a lot. So you couldn't expect it to sell a lot. Then I'm hearing people say, oh, well, you know, Bayonetta 2, it's getting all this unanimous praise in the reviewer, so the sales should have skyrocketed. Oh, really? So because a game gets critical acclaim, that means it's automatically going to sell well? Interesting. Is that why Eternal Darkness, that was critically acclaimed on the GameCube, didn't even sell 500,000 units on an install base of 22 million? Or how about I'll give you even better. How about Okami on the PlayStation 2? That game was critically acclaimed. In fact, it won Game of the Year over Zelda. Guess how much that sold? About as much as Bayonetta 2 has sold up to date. And that's on an install base of over, what, 120 million? And just happened to be made by the same people that made Bayonetta 2. Interesting. Yeah. Stop sidestepping. Stop flip-flopping. Once this game sells 1 million, which will be pretty soon, y'all gonna have that seat. Bond's gonna buy a Wii U because it sold 1 million, and he's gonna have that seat. And all the haters that said this game was never gonna sell 1 million, and now trying to act like 1 million, this game selling 1 million ain't doing nothing, y'all can have that seat too.